According to the Cambridge English Dictionary, trauma researchers emphasize the resilience of the human psyche. Resilience meaning the ability to be happy, healthy, or successful again after something difficult or bad has happened, or the ability of a substance to return to its usual shape after being bent, stretched, or pressed. Welcome to the Arose from Rubble podcast, where there's no good, bad, right or wrong opinion, and no discussion is off limits. Arose from Rubble is primarily about resilience in the absence of perfection, the knowledge we gain and apply on our journey to self-actualization, physically, mentally, and most importantly, spiritually. Join and explore with me as we journey toward our higher selves. We'll explore spirituality, occult knowledge, practical metaphysics, universal law, self-actualization, relationships, life, and love. And I'm your host, Deas Rose. Greetings, gods and goddesses, and welcome to the Arose from Rubble podcast. I'm your host, Deas Rose. I first want to thank you guys again for taking time out to listen to the show. Today's episode is about self-awareness, how I used self-awareness regarding my spirituality to elevate myself, my thought processes, and my experiences with others. And I'm saying that because your experiences with other people will change as your evaluation of your own self-awareness takes place. I think that in mainstream society right now, that most of us are not self-aware. I think that we need to understand and adopt the fact that life is happening for us and not to us. And understanding that is an aspect of self-awareness. I think that when we are more self-aware, we control our responses to the things that are happening around us in a more positive and productive way. And because at this point, our evolution is so much contingent on the frequency that we are vibrating on, it is imperative to be self-aware so you can analyze how you respond to situations and also how other people are responding to us, because that is important. As much as we want to not care what other people are thinking about us, it's still people in your life that you respect. Therefore, it's imperative that we paying attention to how they receive us, and we are open to the constructive criticism as far as getting feedback on how we are perceived so we can be better. Because ultimately, that's what it's about. It's about becoming better. And I say better because of a lack of better words. That just means more in tune, more positive, more aligned, more high vibrational, so we can experience the things that we want to experience, which is a part of our creations, which we are ultimately responsible for. We have to be able to recognize situations that would normally trigger us and where we would normally respond in a negative manner. We have to be able to recognize when those situations come up and look at those things as opportunities. Because what I've learned on my own journey is that sometimes situations will come up that I feel like are familiar, that I've experienced before, and I used to question, like, I thought I healed from that. Because it went further away from my mind. But then when a situation comes up that triggers that aspect of myself, I have to remember that this is myself. giving me an opportunity to respond from a more consciously aware perspective. It's not that I haven't healed. Is my response gonna show up as healed? Is what I need to be taking a look at. This is an opportunity. That's what it is. And sometimes we need to get acceptance about where we truly are and what we truly need to work on in order to show up the way we want others to show up for us. It's easy to have the expectation of perfection, but it's unrealistic, especially if that's not an expectation that we putting on ourselves on a day-to-day basis. We want to get grace, but we don't want to extend grace, and that's not real. It's not real or fair, for that matter. We need to be the change that we want to see, as it's been said. And in doing so, we evolve. We evolve. That's going to take mindfulness. It's going to take accountability. It's going to take responsibility. And you're going to hear me use those words so much because that's so much of the task. So much of the task at hand. You know, a big thing right now in our awareness is our relationships. And relationships are so important because that's where most of our lessons in our evolution is going to derive from. Not just romantic relationships, but in how we relate to our children, how we relate in relationship to other people, whether that's people on the job, people just in public. All of our relationships are tools and opportunities. And all of those are also situations where we could choose awareness of self, because that's what ultimately, to me, helps us develop our compassion and our grace. Because when we look at ourselves and how we fumble and how we drop the ball and how many times we let ourselves down, it allows us to extend grace to other people when they let us down. How many times did we say that we were going to go to the gym? How many times did we say we wasn't going to eat that? We wasn't going to smoke that. We wasn't going to drink that. We wasn't going to touch that. We wasn't going to look at that. And we fall short sometimes. And others are going to fall short too. And if you able to sustain, then it's your responsibility to share. Share your tools. How did you do it? But it takes awareness. It takes confidence. It takes honesty. It takes integrity to be able to acknowledge, accept, to be vulnerable, and to share. And all of those come from the lens of awareness, an awareness of self. I think in the relationship world right now is so distorted. It's so distorted. And we have to know that that's the programming, y'all. Like, we all been under a spell. And right now, we shifting out of it. That's what the awakening is. The awakening is the shift. The shift into self-awareness first. And then we'll see, as we heal individually, we'll see that manifestation in the physical as it relates to society and the world that we creating around us. But we have to understand that what we seeing right now, we creating. That's why they gave us these systems. That's what religion was. When they told you everything that was going to happen in the book before it happened already, that's so you could create it. You gave it your attention. You gave it your belief. You made it the foundation of your life. So how could you not create it? And now that we are aware that that was a weapon for us to create the reality for them to thrive in, meaning these entities, because it's energy. That's what it is. That's what we are. That's what God is. That's what the devil per se is. It's an energy. Now, what differentiates that energy is the frequency, is the vibration of the energy. Is it high vibrational? Does it, I don't want to describe it as feeling good, because low vibrational energy feels good as well. I'll say, does it make you proud? Is it integral? Does it make you feel good about yourself and your decisions? Is it positive? Is the outcome positive? Or do you have to hide it? Or do you have to sneak? Or do you have to degrade somebody else or yourself in the process of showing up from that perspective in which you functioning? If so, that's what low vibrational is. It's degrading. It doesn't feel good overall. It doesn't show up good. It's no light associated with it. It's heavy. It's dark. It's dim, if we want to put a description to it. When it comes to being self-aware, it's about how you showing up and who are you, without you saying how much money you earn, without you putting a monetary value on your being. Considering yourself high value or low value in this society where they created all this fake currency, which is energy, which is current. But we associate that currency with money, which is false, which is fake, which is fiat, which is not real. But that's how we want to describe ourselves based on this programming. So we got to be able to see the programs in order to fix the program. We got to be able to see through the delusion, the illusion, the distortion, the sickness, because we've been sick. Society is sick. And we got a lot of sick people trying to come together to create more sick people. We got to do better. And the only way that we can do that and create the world where we comfortable with transitioning out of this reality and leaving our seeds, our children and our children's children, we got to repair that which we still have the opportunity to repair. And that starts with self. You know, we got all of these people talking about relationships, not willing to take responsibility and accountability for the part that we playing in it, and how we saying we want things to be better. We saying we want families. We're saying we promote marriage. We promote couples, but we still participating in separate language, separate conversations, and blame. And that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We need to take accountability for how we showing up and quit blaming each other for what was necessary for us to go through to get to this point. Yeah, I experienced some trauma. Yeah, we might have been in abusive relationships. Yeah, we might have been abused as children. We might have, I'm not discounting any of those things, but how about that's what we needed to evolve? How about some acceptance that was necessary? Because that's what made me understand that there was a need for something else. That was what made me understand that I needed to be something else. Is going through all those things. And I'm not talking about something that I'm guessing. I'm talking about some of the obstacles that I've overcome. I've been sexually abused. I've been sexually assaulted. I've been in situations that were negative, and I've had to overcome those things. But I also had to realize how I unwittingly, based on programming, participated in being a vibrational match to those experiences because of a lack of awareness. Even if I was a child, energy is not discriminatory. It doesn't discriminate because I'm unaware. That's why even in this physical reality, even if you don't know, you still gonna be held accountable for not knowing. It's the same thing on the energetic level. I had to take responsibility for not knowing, and for my parents not knowing, for my ancestors not knowing. That's what my responsibility during this time is, to heal. So I can change the structure of my DNA. So in turn, I can change the structure of my children's DNA and their children's DNA. So their experiences can show up different moving forward in the next lifetimes. And for those that say that they don't believe in reincarnation, yet you believe that a heaven, a hell exists, I'll ask you this. If we are not reincarnated, then why do you believe in a heaven, a hell? What's going to exist within that heaven, a hell? What aspect of you is going to heaven, or what aspect of you is going to hell, since you don't believe in reincarnation? I would like to be enlightened on that. We have to fix ourselves. We have to take responsibility for even the things that we didn't know better than. Even the things we can't even answer why. When you go from a place of not knowing your value to being able to value yourself, that's a beautiful thing. So regardless as to the circumstances that occurred due to your lack of value, once you develop an understanding of value, you have to appreciate that. We have to find gratitude in even the worst of situations if it changed us and our awareness. We have to understand that we are responsible for everything that we see around us, meaning our creations in this life, in our experience, and the part that we play in that creation, and in knowing that our thoughts become things. So we have to master our thoughts in order to master what's showing up in our lives. If we are dissatisfied with the people that we are attracting, we have to take responsibility for attracting those people in the first place. If you got a child by somebody that you don't like at this point, you got to take responsibility for attracting that person and laying down with that person and creating a life with that person, rather than being upset with that person because they were being themselves. You just chose to turn the blind eye. So you have to take responsibility for that blind eye. Don't be mad at them. Be mad at you for not knowing. And then once you finish being mad with you, you take those red flags, you put them to the forefront of your mind. So when it's time to choose again, you'll choose from a place of awareness. You'll take accountability for being unwitting the first time, and choose better. Don't be mad. Don't be bitter. Just look at yourself. And think about the things that you needed to overcome to get to the place that you are. Especially if you content. If you can look at yourself and be proud That's a beautiful thing. So it's an opportunity for you to share that knowing with others so we can all evolve. You know, the internet right now is being referred to as this gender war, which is just the programming, y'all. Like, we gotta know that. And now that we do know it, I don't understand how we still talking about celebrities. And in the same breath, we can acknowledge that it's a gender war. And we using the celebrities and the breaking down of their relationships, the relationships to these actors and actresses to compare ourselves to. That is so ass backwards. Like, it's unreal. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And we are aware now that these are just distractions. We can't even how do you categorize yourself in the same category as something that's been bought and paid for? When it comes to the concept of celebrity, you have to know you don't get that level of influence without it being controlled. So if you know that that's a control arena or a controlled distraction, why are we using those people to compare the collective experience? Why are we using that? It doesn't make sense. And that's a manifestation of the programming, that we even doing that with a clear conscience. We using celebrities as thumbnails. We using all this bait and switch that they putting out here. All of these rituals, all of these lists. Come on, we got bigger fish to fry. Let's call it what it is and fix thyself. That way we can vibrate a vibrational match into our experience that we want to experience. Your partner is a reflection to the level in which you were vibrating on at the time you came together with that person. So that's all accountability and responsibility. That person is a reflection of your self-awareness during that time. So if you vibrated an asshole, if you vibrated a dog, if you vibrated a hoe, or all of the things that we choose to describe others and ourselves as, then you got to take responsibility for that. You can't be mad at that person for showing up as themselves, because that was a choice that you still made. You decided to sleep with that person and make that baby that wasn't your husband or wife, or even if it was. Those were your decisions. So we can't be mad at what we accept. We can't be mad at what we are a vibrational match to. The only thing we can do is become more self-aware and change our vibration so we can change our experience and how we experience in other people. So it's time out for the blame game as it relates to our anger, the discontent, the division. We got to stop it. This is about our children and our children's children, and us taking responsibility as to how and why we dropped the ball. It was because we weren't aware of ourselves, which was part of the programming that we unconsciously succumbed to. But now, due to technology, now due to the fact that we have more information about the past, we can correct those areas of our lives where we were misguided. That's our responsibility at this point. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Again, ask yourself, who am I without saying what I do for a living, how much money I make, your marital status, your relationship status. Who am I as it relates to how I'm showing up every day? Are you loyal? Are you not? Are you grateful? Are you not? Are you a blessing? Are you not? And be what you're looking for. That's it. Think about who you are without saying what you do. Think about how you're showing up from the perspective of your spirit. Answer, who am I? I'm a goddess. I'm a direct manifestation of everything that God is. I'm a being that chooses to be free. I choose to be detached, and I don't mean that in a way that I'm detached from the collective, but I'm detached from a specific outcome or expectation that I have absolutely no control over. The only thing I can control is how I'm showing up. And that's going to be from a state of awareness of me, which is the only thing that I can fix, manage, and control. Again, thank you guys for listening. I love you. And in the meantime, ponder, who are you? Thanks for listening to the Arose from Rubble podcast. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed therapist, counselor, psychologist, or psychiatrist. I'm a student of metaphysics and occult knowledge who is bona fide in life, relationship, and self-actualization. If you would like your questions addressed live or in private, or perhaps you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the show, feel free to email me at Deas@arosefromrubble.com. That's DEA at arosefromrubble.com. Also, subscribe on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and Instagram at Arose from Rubble. And again, thanks for listening. That's it.